your strength and show me your weakness. We're in this together now. We're in this together now. Give me your love and tell me your secrets. 'Cause we're in this together now. Yeah, we're in this together now. No, 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 no. I'll keep you safe, I'll give you my everything. Even if we're falling down, even if we're falling down, all of me is yours, every part of me. 'Cause we're in this together now. You and me together now. What's the point of living if we're scared to lose each other? What's the point of living without you? Tell me now and I'll stop fighting. Tell me now and I'll stop breathing. I don't want to be here without you. Without you. Without you. Without you. Without you. No, 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 no. I'll be your light, I'll keep you from darkness. Even when the sun don't shine, even when the sun don't shine. Give me your strength, show me your weakness. 'Cause we're in this together now. You and me together now. What's the point of living if we're scared to lose each other? What's the point of living without you? Tell me now and I'll stop fighting. Tell me now and I'll stop breathing. I don't want to be here without you. Without you. Without you. Without you. Without you.
Oh, I was just playing around. I just wanted to make you think that there was no one, that the audio was stuffed. It probably is. Let me know how the audio is, because according to me up there, it's hot, but it may not be for you, because last time I was told to turn it up. So, g'day everyone. How are we all? Ike's here as well, I just noticed. G'day, Ike. How you going? Good to see you in here. I keep getting these little messages up on Ecamm. It's because it's a new version that's popped down. Stay high in the chat if you are actually here. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes just to let everyone know that I'm live, just so that they know. So if you are here anyway, just say hi. I've been very, very busy, actually. I've been doing a lot of dance studio work, so I've been flat out doing that. It's been crazy. And now, sort of from then on, the weddings start to pick up. But I'm going to move more, I think, into more the dance shoots, I think, because it really is my favourite. The weddings almost kill me now. I'm getting older. It's getting tough. Adam said that the audio is great. That's good. Big Osler. I love you, Ike. John Burnett said g'day as well. Mike said hi, David. Hello from Denmark. Ashbourne, is it? Ashbourne. Said hello from Denmark. It's midnight here. Maul said hello from Hawaii. How are you, mate? John said, Mr. Busy Pants. Yeah, it's been good. And not only that, I've been going like crazy with my guitar again. I've been getting right back into it. In fact, I've bought a fair bit of gear. I don't know whether you can see it, can you? Can you see my Stratocaster back there? Oh, look, there it is, look. Little blue Stratocaster. And I've been getting right into it. I've been, come back in focus. I've purchased a couple of amps and some, pedals and all this sort of stuff. So I'm going to start writing music again. I've always had this plan to write an album, and I want to do it before I die. So I said to Kerry the other day, I am going to do this because it's always been what I wanted to do. I used to play in bands all of my junior life. So I played in pubs and things like that. So I used to do that all the time. And I just stopped doing it for a while and I've missed it. So I'm going to get back into it. So stay tuned because I might post some stuff from it. It should be fun. Daniel said hello. Barry also said good morning. Chris said, hello, David. It's been a while. Cold in Los Angeles. Still a good Corona. I've got wine today. Kerry bought me in a wine. Cheers. Oh, I love it. Why can I get rid of that stupid thing on the window? You can't see it, but it's saying select camera source. It's annoying the hell out of me. What if I go live? Does it go, oh no, back to live mode? No, it doesn't change it. I'm using Ecamm and it's just done an update this morning. So it's cold in Los Angeles, Chris. G'day, Freddie. How are you? I can't stay but wanted to say hi and drop a like. Hope you have a great stream. AV is great. Thanks so much, Freddie. Good to see you here. Ashburn, good enough, yeah. James said, hi, David. Hello, everyone. Great opener video. Thanks so much. Yeah, I love that video. We had a ball doing that. It was at a place called the Werribee Mansion in Werribee. Not far from me, actually. It's a beautiful old mansion. It's stunning there. The gardens and everything are absolutely stunning. So I've got a bit to share with you today. Let me just see if I can do this. So I'm attached to the thing here. Have a look at this thing that just got sent to me. It's a 12mm T2.9 cine lens. Now, I'm meant to unbox it in the review, but I'm going to show you. Let me just show you what it looks like. It's from 7 Artisans, and I think it's around about $400 US. I love cine lenses, though, because I just love manual focusing. So I'll take it out. I'll have to do this again when I undo the boxing, but let me show you this lens. Sniff test as Jared Poland does. Shush, shouldn't be doing that. Okay. Yeah, so this is it. Looks beautiful. Ooh, feels like it's so well made. And it's 12mm. So I can't wait to review this, to have a look at, to see how it actually goes. Does it say what filter thread it is? No, I'll have to read that in the thing there. But built like a tank, it's all really solid, heavy lens. This would be great, obviously, to use with your follow focus type gear that you've got as well. So stay tuned because I'll post what that's like when I do the review. And if it's good, like for $400, fantastic. Let me put the lids and everything back on. You even get some little adapters there that must be for your follow focus that you do. So let me put this away, because if I don't put it away, I'm going to get stuff everywhere. All right, so we've got some interesting things to share today. So I'm actually sort of excited for a couple of them, to be honest. So let me switch over. If you have any questions, just pop in and say hi. I'll come back to this later. I'll just post these while we're here. David, hello from Devonport, Iowa, USA. Dario also said, "Hi, David. I'm very curious about those 7 Artesian cine lenses. I've seen some a time back. Yeah, well, I'll let you know. So it's going to be interesting to see how it is, particularly for the price point. So sometimes, though, when you're doing video, if you do get the older type lenses and softer lenses, it actually gives you a nicer look. So, usually, like if you say shooting, say, a wedding or something like that, you don't want the bride, every single pore in her face to be showing and stuff like that. You can get some really nice looks if you use vintage lenses. And that's why I'm curious about this one, because, it's around $400-ish USA. And, if it gives me a sort of nice soft image, I'm not too fussed about the sharpness, to be honest, with cine lenses. But, I mean, everyone's different in how they like or what they like. But I'll let you know anyway once I do it. Don't you get tangled up. All right, so let's have a look at some of the news. Let me switch it over here, because I'm going to go through the lenses first. So we'll have a look at what lenses they're saying are going to be potentially released for this, for Sony cameras. Now, why did that disappear? I just want to bring back this for a minute. Where is it? The Steam Deck. Oh, it doesn't matter. I can see from up there anyway. All right, so let's go to the news. All right, so this is the list. So this is the list of the rumoured new Sony lenses. Now, this is interesting because it's actually saying here that give me that 85 1.2. I was talking about this early last year. And it just has never eventuated. I was sure that this would have been out by now, and I don't know why Sony is holding this back, because I do believe that this is a lens that's going to be out, and I'm not sure why it hasn't been released yet. I mean, they're saying 85 1.2 GM2. We haven't even got the 85 1.2 yet, have we? I don't think so. I don't know. You can let me know if I've gone brain dead, but I don't think we got the 85 1.2 first one, did we? Anyway, it's saying down here that we've got the 16 to 35 f2.8 GM2, so they're going to do a Mark II. The 24 to 105 millimeter f4. Now, that 24 to 105 is a great travel lens. It's a really nice lens as it is. So that's going to be interesting to see what improvements they make on that, because I actually think that's a very, very underrated lens. So that's going to be a really interesting one that comes out. 28 to 75 f2.8. So that's sort of going with the same focal length that Tamron actually do. Oh, by the way, Tamron are sending me back a couple of the lenses that they've actually reviewed. I can't remember which ones they were. I know they're the more of the longer focal length. I think it was the 600 or something, because there's been new firmware that's been added that apparently does amazing things with tracking and things like that. And I've been told that it really has improved it. So I'm going to be getting that. And they're going to be sending me a Android phone. Now, it has to be Android. It can't be on the iPhone at this stage, because the Tamron utility that you connect to the lenses is only available on the Android phones. But I'm going to be able to program it and show you how that all works and how you can change things on the lenses and things like that. So stay tuned for that. Also, I've been saying here, I would personally appreciate a new 85 1.4 to cut down on the size. I would also much prefer a 50 1.2 to a 1.4 and be a smaller size. Interesting. Thanks, Ash Braun. Nivak said the 85 GM definitely needs an upgrade. Yeah, it does. And they just haven't done it, and I don't know why. It just says here, does the 16 to 35 GM really need an upgrade that badly? I wouldn't have thought so, but I'd love to see a 90 macro upgraded. That's another one too that should be upgraded as well. G'day, Heath. How are you, buddy? Also, it's saying 100 1.4 GM. Now, that's another one that has been sort of talked about forever, and it's never come about. So I don't know why on earth that has never been sort of discussed or shown. Well, we have discussed it. It's just never been released. A 100 to 400 f4. Oh, it's saying none of these. Which one do you think? Or none of them at all? Well, I'm not confident of a 16 to 35 f2.8 GM. 24 to 105 f4, I think is definitely a possibility. I mean, that has been around for a while now, so that even though that's a great lens, they could probably make it better. So I think a new version of that would be terrific. 28 to 75, I don't know. I mean, Tamron have already got that covered. It's an amazing lens. I don't know, especially the Mark II version of the Tamron lens is incredible, so I don't know why Sony would go in direct competition with that, but anyway, we'll see. 85 1.2, yes, definitely. And like we said in the chat, the 50 1.2 would also be amazing as well. The 100 1.4 GM, I don't know why that's never come out. I've got no idea either why that's never been out, because there's rumours about that from ages and ages ago, but it just doesn't seem to want to be released. So that's the new lenses. Let me know in the chat what you think about those, or which one you'd love to have. I'd be very curious to know what you think about that. Now, this is an interesting one, though, and I'd love to know your opinion about this, because this is saying nobody ever attempted this. Here is why the Sony FE 20 to 70 millimeter f4 G lens will be a stunner. Now, this is a really interesting one, because there's a massive difference between 20 and 24. It's actually showing it here, what the difference is in your, the screen size that you can actually get to. It is an awful lot. It doesn't seem like much when you're looking like that, but it is. If you're trying to get a wide-angle scene, like if you're trying to do a wedding or something like that or whatever, and you're in an enclosed area, having that extra bit of real estate can be really, really helpful. If you're doing travel, to get more of those wide sort of dynamic scenes, that's also really good as well. The f4 doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm quite comfortable now with shooting with f4. With the way that ISO can work on your cameras nowadays, you just boost up the ISO and it's not really a problem anymore. So I'd be quite comfortable with that. But what do you think about this one? I think that would also be a nice travel lens as well. So 20 to 70, there's nothing out there like that. It's just saying here, the feeling when you prepare your camera bag for a longer travel, you pack the 16 to 35 and the 24-70. Well, see, in other words, this is getting pretty close, to that. So you only need to take one lens. It's unconfirmed what aperture it will be, but it's rumoured to have a constant f4, and I think that's probably what this will be. If it is released, I wouldn't expect it to be an f2.8. I think it'd be too big. So I think it's probably going to be an f4 lens. It says nobody has ever attempted to make a standard zoom with such a wide focal length. So anyway, that's interesting, and I hope that is true, because I think that's something really that would be great for the Sony system. Would you consider buying this lens? I'm going to put yes. Let's see what people have voted. So it's 65% said yes and no 35%. So it looks like it's pretty positive in that regard. So anyway, I think that's terrific. Let me know what you think about that one. Now, I wanted to talk about too. Now, before I do that, don't forget too that we are so blessed now with Sony. I mean, we've got Sigma, we've got Tamron, we've got the 7 Artesians, we've got all of these other Samyang. We've got all of these other lenses that we can use now on the Sony system, and this is why I don't understand the way Canon have gone with locking their system in. I think that's crazy. I really do think that's crazy. We're blessed now with Sony. I remember early on, everyone used to basically bag us to say that, we had no lenses and all that sort of stuff. Well, now it's the complete opposite, which is just so good. I wanted to show this because it's showing the difference in the size between the original A7R and the A7R V. You can see it has become quite a little bit bigger, hasn't it? Particularly from the side. Look at that. That's really amazing to think that you sort of forget. But to look at the difference of how much larger the camera has gotten or got over that period is amazing. I was really shocked when I looked at that, actually. I had the original A7R, and I just couldn't remember how small it was. So that's really cool. Was there any other images? No, that was it. But, wow, look at the difference in the depth there. Look at there, particularly. And that's probably, too, because of the battery. Remember, we've gone to the Z battery instead of the other smaller battery that we've got in the A6000 type series. So I suppose they had to make room for that. But, yeah, amazing. I was shocked. Now, let's have a look at this too, because I still cannot get over this screen in the A7R V. It is just nuts. If you look here, it really is. I think it's probably. I know there's a couple of others said last time. I think it was the Panasonic GH5 or 6 or something had a similar screen, but this really ticks all the boxes if you're dealing with wanting to shoot in any angle, and that's what I think I really love about this is the fact that you've got this screen that will almost go in any direction that you want it to go. It's an ingenious design by Sony. It really is, and it'll be interesting to see now if this sort of goes down to the other models that we sort of see coming up in the future, because I hope so. I imagine an A9 or whatever or something like that with this, or an A7S3 with this would be just so cool. But it's just so flexible. I mean, look, you can put it at any angle. So if you're shooting really, really low, you can do it that way. You can shoot from the side. It's not going to get in the way of your ports on the side there as well. It's ingenious. It really is. And I can't stop looking at it, actually. I love the articulating screens, and I was waiting for one for so long, and now that I've looked at this, I think, wow, that's so cool. You'll notice too, see, when it's facing forward, it's away from the ports here, so you're not going to have any of those issues with the ports blocking it from turning like you do with the A7S3 as well, but it's just brilliant, isn't it? Let me know what you think about that anyway, but I think that's absolutely amazing. Also, this is quite interesting too. They're saying that photos to photos actually measured the dynamic range of the A7R V, and it is slightly better than its predecessor. So that's really good. So they have improved it. Look, it's pretty close, but I mean, it was already amazing. The dynamic range was already amazing on that camera anyway. So now that it's even greater from this, it's brilliant, and you sort of see that it's basically raised over almost the whole range. It's slightly better. Let me just see what they're saying down here. The dynamic range, and the good news is that indeed Sony has managed to squeeze out better performance despite using the same 61 megapixel sensor. So it's amazing, isn't it, what they can do? It's shaping up to be another fantastic camera in Sony's lineup. While it may not break new ground with its image sensor, it features many interesting improvements across the board. See, it's things like the focus, the stabilization, all these sort of things like that are much better on the A7R V. So that is, I think it's a terrific upgrade, actually. It really does seem to be like it's a really good one. If I needed the megapixels, I'd jump on that straight away. Also, Sigma are going to announce a new 60 to 600 millimeter f4.5 to 6.3 lens in early 2023. So again, another lens that we look at. If you want to go online, I'll leave these links down below. You can watch that video about that too that Sony Alpha Rumors is posting. But we've got so many options now with these longer lenses. Like I said, I've been reviewing some Tamron lenses. I did some with surfers. If you go back a little bit, you'll find that. I did some with surfers not long ago. But they're just brilliant. And the Sigma lenses also will be fantastic. Again, it'll be built like a tank, so I doubt it's going to be very light, but I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, you've got the tripod collar here that you can put it onto a tripod or a monopod or something like that. I always recommend, if you're shooting with these longer lenses, to do that, because it's too hard to hold them. And this story is interesting because I know Aaron, who shoots an awful lot of macro, always complains about the lack of focus bracketing being available to Sony cameras, and it's particularly good for jewelry, because you can, when you're using macro, you can shoot from the front to the back and then everything is going to be in focus. The problem with shooting macro is it's such a shallow depth of field that you might have the front diamond in focus and then the back part will go out. Well, the only way you can get around that is to do focus bracketing. Well, apparently the new shutter app, the 2.75, I think I have that. Do I? So I'd love to try it. Let me just see. No, I thought I did. No, I must have taken it off. I'll have to see if I can download it again, because I did have that. But anyway, the 2.75 adds focus bracketing to Sony cameras. Obviously, you're going to have to do it in the software, though, I'd say. I haven't looked at this, so I looked at it this morning when I brought it up. Let me just see what it says. It's now available for the iPhone and the iPad. It introduces focus bracketing with the Shutter app. With the Shutter, you can conveniently capture sequences of photos between two defined focus distances. Simply select the nearest and further points and the number of photos you want to capture. See that? So that's pretty good. I mean, this should be built into all of, I wish it was in all of the Sony cameras as it is. It just says for landscape photographers, there is even an option to combine focus with exposure bracketing as well. Focus bracketing is available in the following cameras. So they're saying it's available in the A1, the A7C, the A7 IV, A7R Mark IV, A7S3, A9, A9 II, FX3, and the RX100, the ZV1, the ZV-10. So we can do it with a lot of them. You'd obviously then have to take it into software, I think, and put it together. Does it mention that? So you can see here that this is where you'll set your near focus and then your far focus. And then you actually select the number of number of steps that you'd like to do. So you can say high 91, mid 46, low 19, etc. Exposure bracketing can be done down through here. So it looks like it's really quite powerful, actually. Shutter was born as a tool to help take better selfies during our trips to the Swiss Alps. Let me see what else it's got. It's got a bulb timer. Tap to focus even on cameras that don't officially support it, so you can use your tap to focus on that, which is great as well. And that works with all of those cameras that I mentioned before, the tap to focus too. You'll have to download this again and have a look. It's got the intervalometer if you want time lapse, your raw time lapse, exposure bracketing. That will go beyond the 30-second exposures. It even works on cameras that don't support exposure bracketing internally. Time continuous burst shooting and video recording. Composition tool stays connected to the camera even when you switch between apps. That's good, so it obviously works in the background. Convenient user interface and exposure controls. An Apple Watch app requires iPhone to be present. Oh, okay, so it won't work without your iPhone there, but I must download this and have a look. Sounds great. So that is that. There's not much news, so that's basically it with the news. Let me just come back to me. So let's have a little bit of... How are we going for time? It's going to be quick today, I think. Let's have a little chat. So I'd love you to throw in some opinions, what you think about it. Throw away in some questions if you have anything like that as well. Sony Alpha rumors recently rumoured it, the 20-70. That's what I just actually spoke about, so thanks for that. Barry said, I would buy the 20-70 mil if my wife lets me. Laugh out loud, tell me about it. I know all about that. They threw that whole small compact camera idea out the window. There is no way possible you can put that much tech in a super small package and expect it to work properly, yeah. And remember, like we had all this discussion ages ago about this. We actually said that we all don't mind the camera to be a little bit bigger if it gives you the features that you need. I mean, I probably wouldn't want the Sony camera to go much larger than what it is because I do like that sort of size and that form factor. But I did forget how small the original A7R was, and I suppose that would be the same size as the original A7 as well. You just tend to, you just tend to forget. I better have another drink of this wine. It's nice. Hero said, got a hand hold like a big boy. Oh, you got to hold it like a big boy. That's the lens. Julian said, hey, David and chat. How are you, Julian? Heath said the third-party lenses are now really good too. And that's the beauty of this, isn't it? Because the third-party lenses now are amazing. Now, they used to be a real step back. But they're certainly not a step back anymore. And that's one of the real pluses about this is the fact that the lenses now are really good quality. I mean, really good quality. Initially, it seemed to be that Sigma tended to have the better quality in the third-party lenses. And Tamron and Samyang were a little bit behind. Then Tamron sort of came out, particularly when the 28-75 was released, and that sort of changed everything. From that point on, everything that Tamron released was absolutely superb. And then Samyang as well is initially had issues, and now they're bringing out superb lenses as well. It really is incredible what we've got now, and the range of the choices we've got, incredible, which is terrific. Ryan said, I really want a revised 85 GM or 100 GM. Yeah, I don't know why, Ryan, why they're not bringing that out. I really do not know why. I wish Tamron would sort of jump at that and bring out, an 85 1.2 or something. Well, yeah, but I'm hoping someone brings that out soon. But like I said, I was talking about that 12 months ago, and it still hasn't happened. Probably longer than 12 months ago as well. It's super that Tamron has started to use the VXD linear motor. Yep, and that's the big thing that changed it, because the focusing changed completely when they started to use that VXD linear motor. It did change it as well. And Samyang doing the same. And now we just need Sigma to get on board with the linear motor train as well. I'm sure it's probably going to happen. Julian said, just got my A7 IV. Oh, lucky you. 20mm 1.8. It's like a G Master, so sharp for the price. The 21.8 is a great lens, though, Julian. It's actually a terrific lens. James said, still no news on the photography APS-C camera updated. I don't know what's going on with that. I really don't. I still thought that we would have had something like an A7 III replacement in that sort of body size for the A6000 series. I don't know why it's never happened, because I think with the recent releases, they still are thinking about APS-C, but they haven't given that side of it much love at all. If you think the last release was a long time ago, the A6400 and the A6600, they've been out for a while now, and it's a shame that they're not producing anything. Now, I know Tamron was releasing lenses too, so, I mean, they also are part owned by Sony, so I wouldn't think they'd be releasing lenses if it was a dead-end system. The new one they released, I've gone blank with the name, is it the FX30? Is APS-C too, so they have given it some love from that side, but they haven't given the point and shoot or that, the A6000 any sort of love. So I'm hoping that we will get something like this A7000 series released sometime next year. Obviously, it's not going to be this year now, but I would love them to give us something better in that, because that sensor is so dated now. I mean, look, it's still a good camera, don't get me wrong, but the sensor is really dated. The rolling shutter is terrible. I mean, it really is bad in the A6000 series cameras. But the image itself, if you're shooting 4K, is terrific. The 1080p footage is pretty soft, like very soft, in fact. I always recommend, if you're shooting with the A6000 series or whatever, that you shoot 4K and then downsample if you only want 1080p, because then at least you get the nice sharp image. Stabilization is, not very good. So it definitely needs an update. Autofocus in the A6 4000 series upwards, A6 400 I mean, is terrific. So the autofocus is great. It's more the fact of we need 4K 60 in those cameras. We need a newer sensor, a better sensor and things like that. So better stabilization. So hopefully it's going to come. I have and love the Sony 90 macro. It's still one of Sony's sharpest lenses. It is an unbelievably sharp lens. The only problem is it's a bit slow in focusing. That's the issue with it. They really should bring another one out. But would get a faster focusing lens with an f2 aperture. Could even make it a G Master with an aperture ring. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I agree. A lot of people are choosing the A7C, I guess. Yeah, maybe. See, the A7C is due for an update as well. So I would think that camera is definitely going to get an upgrade. I like the form factor of that. The only thing I don't like is the crappy LCD in there, or the EVF. I mean, I think if they gave it a really good EVF and a decent rear screen on that, the A7C would be a really good camera to use, and it would be one that I'd love to use. I know Aaron loves it, but I think Aaron now has also gone to the A7R. I think it must be the R4, I think. I don't think he's got the R5, but, it's interesting. The A7C has been out for quite a while now, though, so that definitely could be released with the A7 IV. sensor in it, which previously it was the A7 III sensor. So I suppose we could have an A7C2 with the A7 IV sensor in it, and all of the goodies that sort of come with that in that different sort of body size, which, you know, is great. I mean, it's a great travel camera and things like that, so that would be interesting as well. And that's about it, unless anyone else... I'll just see if anyone else wants another couple of questions before we disappear, or before I disappear and go and get a coffee. Like I said before too, Tamron are sending me back those lenses, so stay tuned for that, because I'll have a review up of that. I'll show you something else I've got too that I've got to look at. I've been sent these, which I haven't even opened yet, but they're V-Lock plates. What it is it's from Cine, I think it is, and I like these because I use V-Lock a lot of the time. I often use it to power my cameras when they're on a tripod, and I'm just going to leave them running with the Ninja and stuff, and I use V-Lock batteries for that because they'll go all day. But this comes with a whole stack of different adapters and things like that you can mount it to, I believe. It's support for USB-C, various output sources, and things like that. So I'll let you know when I have a look at this. It's even got the mounts and everything there too that you can use it. Great for video, like terrific. So stay tuned for that. Let me see down here. I agree with that one, key boy. Not sure what that means. Sony, is that going to update? Oh, there we go. Sony released 3 APS-C lenses before the FX30. I think APS-C camera will come. Yeah, I agree. That's why I think that's true. Now that they, like I said, because they've released that FX30, I think it's probably definitely going to be supported. So I hope so anyway. Have you tried the Tamron 35-150? Yes, Julian, I did a whole review on it and I loved it. That was absolutely brilliant, that lens. One of the best lenses I've ever used, to be honest. It was amazing. If you go back into my channel, you'll check the review I did of it. It's superb. It really is superb. It's heavy, but boy, it's such a great lens, such a great focal length. Like that particularly, the Tamron 35-150, you could do a whole wedding with that without having to use another lens, and that's what I loved about that. It's just wonderful. Yes, I have the A7C. Love it. It would be like an APS-C for wildlife shooting. Canon are all over it with the R7. Yes, they are, and that's why I think Sony should do something about it. I really hope that they do. I just got the Ninja, so that would be cool. Yeah, I love the Ninja. I actually use it all the time. It's just such a fantastic system. Julian, I'll check it out. Yeah, go back, yeah, because when you watch the review, I really did rave about it. It's fantastic, that lens. They will probably come out with a new APS-C camera with the FX30 sensor and shutter XD. It will be interesting to see what they do about that, won't it? It'll be interesting to see if it's based on the FX30 or more on the A7 IV. I think personally that it will probably be the A7 IV that it's going to be based on. Because I think they'll probably want to leave the FX30 more on the movie side. The new A6000 will probably be more like a hybrid camera for stills and video, and I think that's more why it would sort of be related to, you know, that sort of A7 IV-ish type of look about it. That's the A7C. I should say I think the A6000, sorry, will be still more video and still-centric. It won't be more just video like the FX30 will be. The 70-350 is great for wildlife, but I would appreciate an APS-C telly. It is always good to get that crop factor in, remember, because that is what's so good for wildlife. That's why often wildlife shooters like to APS-C cameras, because they can get that extra reach out of the lens. And that's terrific when you do that. Now, Rob, different types of photography have different needs. There is a lot to be said for an APS-C or A7C size form factor. When I put a camera into underwater housing and take it diving. Yep, good point. There is always a place for these smaller cameras, I agree. I am personally not sold on the A7C. I honestly would not buy it and go for the A7 III or 4. Yeah, it's all personal, Dario, and that's the good thing about it. Remember, they've got something for everyone, so I suppose it doesn't really matter if you don't like it. You just go for whatever you like. So, like I know, I said Aaron loved his A7C. I'm not sure if he's still got it, but I know he did love it. I think he went to the A7 IV. But he still may have it to travel. I'm not sure what he's travelling with. He's travelling at the moment, actually, over in France and stuff. So I don't know. And that's about it. If no one else has any more questions, obviously, if you would, I'd love a thumbs up because it does get people to see the show. And I should be back next week. It also depends, too, if there's stories to talk about. It's starting to get a bit quiet, so if there's stuff there to talk about, I might pop on for half an hour or something. If there's nothing, it might be the week after. But we'll just see how it goes. Like I said, I've got a couple of reviews that I've got to do there, and a couple of other things that are coming that I can't talk about yet. But so I've got a few things that should be interesting, and the Tamron stuff is coming, and I can't wait to have a look at those and see how much better the performance of those lenses are with that new firmware. This looks like the A7C is so good. I love the all black version. I'll get it if they give me an extra dial so I can easily control aperture, shutter, and ISO. I like those tactile things too. So yeah, it's I agree. Ike said they make underwater housings for all kind of cameras. That's not exclusive to APS-C cameras or for full frame. My argument is that Sony probably didn't see a need for a APS-C full frame body. And that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in again. I've missed the last couple of weeks because I've been doing dance shoots. But hopefully, like I said, I'll be back again next week as long as there's stuff to chat about. Apart from that, everyone, have a great weekend. Any questions, leave them down below, and I always read them and get back to you if I can. So pop any questions that you've got down there as well. I'm going to finish my wine, and then I'm going to get a coffee. So apart from that, everyone, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.
If you're looking for some crazy, I'll tell you everybody's standing in a line for the water slide. You can come on over, we can take the roller coaster. And you know everybody's looking for a ride in the water slide. Water slide. Surfing on a wave of good feelings. Well, it's just another